Hello everyone. Sitting here with my Jazzmaster from Fender. It's Acoustasonic, plays acoustic and electric. And if you're interested in this particular instrument, I do have a video. I'll put the link in the description. So anyways, I wanted to talk today about an unusual subject. I thought it was important that I bring this up because I've been getting a lot of messages, from different ones that, of course, we're all kind of getting up there in age, some of us anyways, and as we get older, we run into some challenges, physical challenges. Last night I received a message, and it was someone that, he said, "Hey, I'm having trouble with just playing C and F because of he has arthritis, and it's really bad in his pointer finger. You got any suggestions?" So, I got to thinking about that, and I thought, you know what? I think there's more than just him that has that problem. We all run into challenges as we move along, and I think there's alternatives. There's different ways to approach it so that we don't have to quit playing. I think that's really important, especially if it's something you really love. You don't want to stop. You want to hang on to that and enjoy that. So instead of quitting, let's find some alternatives. So I thought today I'd share some of my thoughts around, what do you do? For instance, we're going to give the example of if you have arthritis in your pointer finger and you're having trouble with F and C. Well, okay, let's just approach that, F and C. Let's talk about it. I think a good place to start is with the device that you're playing, the guitar you're playing, and the devices that you're using first. I think that's a good place to start in our discussion. If the first thing I would look at if somebody said, "Hey, I'm having troubles, when I press down, it just doesn't work for me, it's too hard," I would want to know, well, what are you playing? What kind of guitar and how is it set up? Because if that action is really high, I don't care if you're young and you have no disabilities or problem whatsoever, you're going to have problems playing the guitar. You got to have a guitar that's set up right. So I would suggest you could go and take your guitar to someone and have them just set it up. It's going to cost you a little bit. Maybe, in some cases, I know some will do it for like $80 or something. Prices may have gone up a little bit, so you might have to pay like $100, $125. But call around and find out what the prices are and find somebody that really knows what they're doing. Check the reviews and make sure it's somebody that really does know how to set up a guitar, and have them help you with the action. They can lower the action. They can maybe help you with changing out the strings to a lower gauge string. Like instead if you're playing 12s or 13s, change it to 11, and then get the guitar set up around those strings. Some strings have different tensions, so ask questions. What would be the easiest? And so there's a lot of different styles out there in terms of strings. Find someone that knows and start asking some questions and find something that works for you in terms of making that guitar that you have easier to play. Now this guitarist thing, it's like there's no effort at all to play. It's very little resistance to my finger. Because it's a Fender and it's actually set up like an electric guitar. It does have acoustic strings on it, and right now I have the switches set so that it sounds like it's supposed to sound like a dreadnought, a rosewood dreadnought. I think it's pretty close. It sounds good. I like this guitar. It's a lot of fun. So that's one alternative, is check your guitar, check your setup, check to gauge the strings. The other thing is that if you're having trouble holding your pick, and that can happen, where just holding the pick is painful. And you can't grasp it strong enough or something. So I would do this. I would go out and start looking at picks like this. This is made by Black Mountain. And when you put it on, it clings. It looks just like a pick, except you don't have to hold on to it. It's holding on to you. And so this would be another choice. And now I know that if you go to the company's website, Black Mountain, you'll find that they have different gauge or thicknesses and different styles that might, if you have a smaller hand like mine, it might fit better. This one's a little too large for me, and I had one that they made that actually fit me really well, and I think my dog got it, and I haven't purchased one since. This one's just a little bit loose, but it works, you know, and I can hold it, but I don't have to put a lot of pressure on it, and it feels just like a pick, except it's working for me. So maybe that would be a choice for you. So take a look at that. And then, of course, we come down to the actual chords that we're playing. And in this case, you're saying you're having trouble with the C and the F. And those people have trouble with those F chords, even the C. I've taught different people, and it's taken them a while just to get used to doing that. So it may not have anything to do with arthritis or any kind of disability. It might just be your muscle memory, your brain connecting with your hands and learning to go to that form, and making sure that your thumb is in the right place and your hands are relaxed. You've got learning the chord itself. But I think I'm talking to somebody that actually knew the chords and could play them before and now can't do it. So let's use some alternatives. There's other alternatives. Well, here's one that it's called C add 9, right? So you're playing the G chord. We'll play it like this. I'm going to put my pinky finger and use it for the G note, or the 3rd fret. You could do it with your ring finger if you want. It works both ways. Or if you want, you could take your ring finger and put it on the 2nd string over 3rd fret down, and put your pinky on the 3rd fret. And play it like this, okay? But here's what I wanted to show you. This is the G chord, right? G chord. To get to C, all I want you to do is just pick up these 2 fingers and move them over 1 string. There you go. So now, you're not working. This is called C add 9 when you play these, the middle 4 strings there. Okay? So you could use C add 9. That would be a chord that you could use. I put the chord chart up there so you could use it. So and you can easily convert from the G to the C right there. Okay? So that's one way you could do the C chord. And I'm going to show you some others. But let's focus on the F chord while we're up here in this first position. So the F chord, we talked before about making the partial chord and then rolling over, the rollover technique. And that just doesn't seem to be working for this person. So, well, let's talk about a power chord. So if I bar the F chord, right, if I put my finger across, this is something I know you can't do. But if you do, and then you make the shape of like the E chord, just above it, that's an F, right? Well, that is just too hard. So what you're going to do is take part of it. Basically, you're going to take your pointer finger, put it just on the F, or on the low E string, the 1st fret. And then you're going to take your middle finger, put it on the 5th string, 3rd fret, your ring finger, 4th string, 3rd fret. There's a chord chart there, or maybe it's over there. I never know where I'm going to put it until I start working on these videos, okay? But there you go. This is the F chord. Just those 3 notes. Hear it? There's the full F. But you're going to play the power F. You can get away with it. Okay? So now we have an F chord that you can play without coming up here and doing this. Just play it right here. Here it's lower, yeah, it's lower, but it'll fill in when you're playing a song. You'll be able to do it. The other thing you can do is, if you don't want to do it this way, you can make the shape of a D chord and move it up to the 5th fret. And that's actually an F. Just playing those 3 strings. Okay? But that's another way you could do it. But I'm going to show you something differently. Okay? Is that a word, differently? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to show you something different. So we're going to take the F, and we're going to slide this formation up to the 8th fret. Okay, the same formation as the F. And that's the C chord. Okay, so you could bar the C chord here, but we're just playing part of it. Just like you could bar the F chord here, but you're just playing part of it. Okay, do you see the similarities there? You're barring, you're doing part of it, barring it, doing part of it. Okay, so this is the C here, but we're not going to do it that way. We're just going to do part of it. So now we have F, C. Okay, well, let me show you where another F is at, because it's right by that chord. All you have to do is leave your finger there, this finger here, and press just a little bit harder and pick up the string next to it with your pointer finger. Okay? Because you're going to pick these 2 fingers up and just move them over one string. Just move them over. Okay? So it looks like this. You're just pressing these 2 strings. Might be a little harder for you, but try it. Okay, so you got... There's an F there, there's a C there. And if you slide that F chord, just slide it up 2 frets, guess what? You have a G. So you got... Up 2 frets. Did with this F chord down, a G chord. Remember, if you bar this here, you got a G chord, right? It's that same thing as here. You bar this, you got an F chord. You bar this, you got the G chord. Well, you can take part of it, that same formation, and it's the G, okay? So now we got C, F, there's another alternative, is to use power chords, or to use these other alternative type chords that can act as a substitution. You're only playing part of the strings, but hey, you're getting the sound you need, and many times it sounds awesome when you're playing that way. The other thing is using alternative tunings like DAD-GAD. You'll find if you put DAD-GAD in your search engine, DAD-GAD, because that's how you're having it tuned, DAD-GAD, and then you put chords next to that. It'll bring up, if you look at the images, it'll bring up all kinds of chord charts, and you'll see in there's many 1 to 2 finger chord charts of the major charts that you can play in these alternative tunings. So take a look at that as well, because that's another way to do it and not have to put a lot of stress on your fingers. The other thing is that And the last thing I wanted to talk about, because we ran out of time, is medications. Go see a healthcare professional and talk to them about, maybe some medications that are topical that won't go systemic or won't, go out throughout your whole system where you feel tired all the time. Check and see if there's something like that there for you and that would work for you. Talk to them about different alternatives in terms of medications and exercises, because you don't want to stop. If you're having a problem with stiffness and everything, I think it's real important that you keep it moving. I noticed sometimes with my feet, they bother me in the morning, and as I get going and keep moving, it stops, it goes away. So mobility is very, very important. And the guitar is a good tool to keep you moving. So don't quit, find an alternative. Take that guitar out to someone that knows how to set it up. Check out different alternative tunings. Check out these chords that you can use as substitutions, and see your healthcare professional, and maybe get yourself a pick. And the last thing I want to show you is get a capo. Hey, look how easy this is. I'm going to put the capo on the first fret, and now instead of playing in C, F, and G, I'm going to play the E chord, the A chord, and the B chord. And guess what? That is C, F, and G. Actually, that's F, and that is a B flat, and that is a C. So there you go. So using a capo to make some of these different chords that you need. And you can be playing with other people and not have to do those miserable chords that hurt your hands. Okay, that's the end right there. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are in this world.